Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here, welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. Today we're talking about fragrances that everybody around you is guaranteed to love. That is my fragrance, West Loop, that I creatively directed underneath the Michael Malone brand. Everybody love it? Yeah. It's a fragrance that had compliments in mind when it was being developed. I think that it smells fantastic. It's got a nice amount of warmth and sweetness to it, just a compliment beast. Got other videos on the channel about this one. Nice pressurized atomizer. Shouldn't have done that, it's too many sprays. But you can find that one at Michael Malone's website, linked in the description below, along with my new other fragrance, Edgewater. That's good for spring and summer. But that's not in the official list. No. We have 10 others, some of these niche, some designer, some good for fall and winter, some good for spring and summer. Let's check them out. They'll all be linked down below. No particular order. Kicking it off with Explorer from Montblanc, which of course smells a little bit like Creed Aventus, only way cheaper. Nice and fresh, little touch of spice in there, some clean woodiness, very modern, masculine, versatile, mass appealing, a compliment beast. My wife loves this stuff. Pretty much everybody loves this stuff. And thankfully from discounters, you can pick it up for a really good price. Blanc Explorer, one of those scents that you can wear just about anywhere, and you'll see it constantly and consistently in people's collections who are just getting started in fragrances because it presents such a good bang for your buck. And sometimes you may think, well, you know, Explorer is very popular, so it's not unique enough. But in actuality, as far as the United States goes anyways, this is actually not a top 30 best-selling fragrance in the country. So it may be used a bit less than you're actually anticipating. So Explorer, great choice. Before we go to the next fragrance, here are some codes, including GS25, which at fragflex.com will give you a buy one, get one 25% off, which actually scales. So if you bought 6, you would get 3 25% off. If you bought 8, you would get 4 25% off. Math. Or if you're European, maths. And there's a code also for my fragrances, which is Gents. G-E-N-T-S-E-N-T-S. Now this one I included for you out there. Yes, you, and you, and you, and you, and you. All of you. It's Versace Aos Flame. Why present it like that? Well, because every time that I ask you guys on the community tab, which by the way, community tab, go on there, answer the question, and you can be in a future video. Every time I do a community tab question and I ask you guys, what's a good fragrance for this, that, the other thing, this is always one of the answers. So Versace Aos, you know, that line of fragrance is super well known. One of the best-selling fragrance lines in the world. It's a big compliment pulling fragrance line, of course. People love the way that it smells, nice sweetness to it, good projection, good performance, the whole deal. Aos Flame, I've said before, is kind of like the redheaded stepchild. It also comes in a red bottle, so that works out well. It doesn't really fit in with the other ones, is what I'm trying to say. But the fragrance itself, really good. It's got that Aos DNA to it, but with a little interesting twist. The Kinoto in here I think is really nice, helps set it off. So that gives it a nice freshness, almost like a peppery herbal undertone to it to an extent. So Aos Flame, gotta include that bad boy. We're gonna go niche on the next one, and this is from Frapom. It is the Humaniste, and this is awesome smelling. The opening is so good. There's just one drawback, okay? Performance is not great. You could use a performance enhancer. Whether we're talking about some nice steroid action or maybe a little blue pill or something like that, it could use a little help. Don't try to put steroids in your fragrances. The opening here is great. I can still remember the first time I smelled it, it just blew me away. It's so zingy, bright, fresh, clean, juicy. It's aromatic and citrusy, has this great gin note in it that gives it that kind of fizziness. Again, the problem is the performance. So as long as you don't mind the performance, this is one of the best, in my opinion, smelling aromatic citrusy scents that you can get. After that, we got Prada Lunar Rosa Ocean. Lunar Rosa Ocean, the eau de toilette, not the eau de parfum version, is, you know, it's kind of interesting to me in a way, because you can wear this just like any of the big blue fragrances. Bleu de Chanel, Sauvage, Y, etc., etc. You can wear this in the same situations, right? But this one doesn't get talked about quite as much as those. Obviously, it doesn't sell quite as well as those, but it does sell well enough. This is the type of blue fragrance that, to me, you can wear literally anywhere. and it will work. It's not as aggressive as like a Sauvage Eau de Toilette or a Y Eau de Parfum is. It still has good enough performance that you'll get noticed, but it's just not quite as like in your face as those can be. And again, that helps give it that versatility. Lunar Rosa Ocean, nice one that really grows on you over time as well. Up next, we got Scandal from Jean Paul Gaultier. Now, I've said this before, I'll say it again. In the US anyway, Scandal is overlooked as far as fragrances go that are massively appealing, that don't actually get worn as much as you would think. This thing, while this is a well-known fragrance for anybody who's into fragrances, and it's not like it's from an unknown house or anything like that, this is not big best-selling fragrance in the US. And yet this stuff works so well. It's got mandarin orange, has caramel, tonka, and vetiver. And I just have to tell you, do not sleep on it. In the air, this stuff right here will get the job done 10 times out of 10. People love this stuff. Really good performance, projection, longevity, the whole deal, good bang for your buck. So if you're looking for a fall and wintertime scent that, again, ticks pretty much all the boxes for what you're looking for, you gotta know about this one. And frankly, even though it has caramel and tonka in there, it's not too sweet. Like, it's not overdosed on the sweetness to where it comes across sugary or anything. It still has a nice masculine feel to it. All right, Y up next. Y Eau de Toilette. Y Eau de Parfum you could also go with, but I think that overall, that Y EDT is gonna be the more versatile of the two. Y Eau de Parfum, I mean, realistically, you can wear whenever you want. You could wear that year round. Maybe during summer, you know, dial it down a little bit, but Y EDT is even more so. Just one of those fragrances you literally have to put zero thought into. You just grab it and go. Really fresh, clean, sweet. Not as sweet as the EDP though, and has a little bit like a fresh laundry kind of smell to it. Easy wearing, classy, just, yeah, an everyday type of scent. So yeah, that's Y. There's not too much else to say about it. It's got a really nice, pleasant opening, compliment puller. You can use it anytime, day or night. Fresh, clean, sweet, modern, masculine. That's the deal with that one. If for some reason you have never smelled Y or the other Y fragrances, go into your local, literally any place that carries fragrances and sample them yourself. Macy's, Belk, Ulta, Sephora, I mean, literally anywhere is gonna have them. This stuff is good, man. Gentleman, Reserve, Privé. That's some nice stuff right there. Yes, sir. So, Iris fragrances, for a while, they were viewed as a little bit difficult to wear by some people, by actually a decent amount of people. So we're talking Dior Homme Intense, Valentino Uomo Intense, stuff like that. They had a rep for being sometimes too powdery, too makeup-y, too difficult to wear, like you could only pull them off in certain situations, maybe nighttime in the winter when you're at a formal event. And so people would say, well, why do I need it, man? Like if I'm gonna have this scent, and it's already difficult for me to wrap my head around, why do I want to wear it or buy it to be worn rather in just one time of year? I'm gonna wear it like once and then never wear it again. But as time went on, people started to come around to Iris fragrances a bit more. Iris was worked into more men's fragrances in different ways. And you still had fragrances that put Iris at the forefront. This is one of them, but made it more accessible. So this one, even though it has that Iris right there, and it still has some of those aspects that you'll find in fragrances like Valentino Uomo Intense or Dior Homme Intense. This one has a nice counterbalance. You have this nice booziness in here, this sweetness that really helps push it into a more accessible area, a more wearable area. And so what that does is it gives it a very unique flair compared to most other scents on the market, while still being a very approachable and compliment pulling type of fragrance. So this one, I love it. Let's go back to niche. Creation E from Rosa Parfum. Depending on where you are, this could also be called Enigma. So there are multiple iterations of this, different concentrations of this, and they all carry different price points. This is going to be the most affordable of the bunch. So if you're looking for the most cost-effective way to enjoy this fragrance, it's gonna be the Parfum Cologne. Cola/cognac in a very effervescent way with tobacco in here as well, supporting floral notes, some sweetness in there, kind of an ambery warmth underneath. Extremely elegant, but still very easy to wear also. For a long time, Rosa Parfum was not as well known as they are today. They were still really well known, but not quite as well known is what I mean to say. And this one, Creation E/Enigma, before the Parfum Cologne version came out, was often heralded as like the best of the best, like the one that you had to get. If you were gonna get just one Rosa Parfum and you didn't want to go for like the crazy, stupid expensive ones, that was the one you went for. The Parfum Cologne version, again, makes it a little bit more accessible because of the price point. I do think that if you can afford it, like if money is no issue, maybe you step up and get one of the other versions, but I think for the majority of people, this is gonna be kind of the way to go, and that's gonna be more, of course, fall, winter time, more of an evening scent. Up next, we have Ralph's Club from Ralph Lauren, done by the same perfumer who does Y, Dominique Ropion. So this has the same sort of usability that Y would have. That kind of any day, any time, doesn't really matter type of usability, has that. It also has, you know, maybe some little faint bits and bobs that you could point back to the Y line with, you know, it's got like a little bit of a carryover. It doesn't smell the same. One would not replace the other or anything like that, but you can smell sort of the common thread. I do think Ralph's Club is not as sweet as Y. It's a little bit more grown up, you could say, a little more aromatic than Y is. So you have a little bit more of a like green nuance around the edge of the fragrance that you're not going to find here. But with it being a fragrance that is so easy to wear, that just literally everybody loves, that you can wear anytime, any place, this is something that you should try out. And you have 3 different versions that you can go with now, 3 different concentrations of the fragrance. I think the OG is where I would start for most people if they're looking for just that kind of everyday Swiss Army knife scent. Last but not least, Burberry Hero, the Eau de Parfum. For me, I'm taking the EDP over the EDT pretty much every time. We'll say maybe 9 times out of 10 when we're talking Burberry Hero. There are some certain situations where I'm just looking for maybe a clean, woody, modern fragrance where I go for the Eau de Toilette, but I think the EDP overall, more interesting. It's got a nice sweetness to it, a nice warmth to it, along with that cedary woodiness that the Eau de Toilette has. I think this has better performance. I think it smells just better overall. I think it's pretty much an improvement in about every way. Some people have actually found it to be a little bit similar to like taking a Stronger With You sort of scent profile and mixing it with the original Hero EDT, but I think this actually just stands really well on its own. So lovely one, great for fall and winter, big compliment puller, and actually Hero Eau de Parfum is one of the better selling scents in the United States. And you may ask, well, what do you mean like better selling? And I would say top 10 actually. So yeah, people love this stuff. So there we go, 10 different scents here. A lot of these super versatile as well. A lot of these are just like, you know, you could use them about anywhere, but these right here, people are gonna love. Some for cool weather, some for warm weather, but they're all gonna have you smelling awesome. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.